Welcome, everyone. So we are going to go ahead and get into our Sacred Rebels Oracle reading. And this is if you are, in the midst of doing your shadow work and you're trying to gain a different level of awareness and understanding of where you're at in your journey, this is the place to be. I pull these cards for myself mostly, but I decided that it would be a nice thing to share online. I really don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing these oracles. I've been pulling them for a bit of a while. And yes, let's see. I split this deck with intention. So these oracles are very valuable. It really gives you a lot of insight in where you are, and they're pretty, really good guide for you when you're in it. Let me make sure my mic is on. I always get worried about that. Okay. Spirit, I set the intention down. Let this be a card that gives whatever it is that we need to hear where we're currently at in our journey. This is for the collective that will be watching. May it benefit them and help them to guide them to where they need to gear their attention to in their own lives so that they can make the best of it. I am open and ready to receive gratitude. All right, let's see what we got. So this one's kind of a weird one to shuffle. A lot of times I just split the deck because they're big cards. They're kind of hard to shuffle. They don't always come out. So we're going to see. Sometimes it does. Sometimes Spirit's like, nah, yeah, see? See, Spirit's like, I'm going to give you a card. All right, what do we got? Going beyond normal. All right, this is the card we've got. Look how pretty. Going beyond normal. I'm going to see if I can put that here. Let's see, I'm going to put it right up here. Going beyond normal. Go ahead and read that. What number is it? 14. Pause a while to find it. All right, let's get on to it. On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream, or we can dare to take bolder, more authentic and trusting ways, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry. Isn't that the truth? The sacred rebel within your own heart will always choose a juicier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choice point. You could say that the choice is about balance. Interesting. It is less about choosing to honor either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you enhance rather than hinder your life journey. Very well said. Placing science or architecture above all else kills off the rebellious heart. Steadfastly relying on logic, proof, and a complete set of plans to measure and dictate outcomes will suffocate the soul. Basing decisions on limited factors when an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, and with trust so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly according to plan. It's very interesting because that part, I always talk about time. A lot of times we press on time, we press people on time, we press situations on time, and the time is on the divine. Like we have to leave things to divine timing. Not everything has to happen or should happen when you want it to happen. So let's continue. Choose to value decisions based on passion and instinct, and trust in life enough to embrace it as an adventure and let it unfold as it will. Yeah, exactly. Because that's always the best way, right? When you just let things kind of happen. It's like if you've ever been like on a vacation or you're doing something and you just kind of let things just roll, it's usually the best time you have. There is a time and place for logic, strategy, planning, and measurable outcomes. These are not bad tools to have, but we must be vigilant not to worship them and allow them to squash our less rational, but equally valuable decision-making tools, intuition, feelings, and those things you know without knowing how you know them. The flowing inspirational energy of the heart may have no conceivable basis in logic or reason and still be uncannily accurate. That is true. To remain rebellious, we must not sacrifice the art of emotion, instinct, passion, and intuition for the science of logic and strict planning. On the other hand, gardening and art do provide us with a plan, albeit more loosely held. This plan still requires us to set aside time to draw upon reliable methods and to prepare with certain tools. However, there is also a healthy dose of organic flow, responsiveness, and trust in the creative process and bringing something to life. This leads to a cultivation of most beautiful, abundant, and successful garden and the most vivid healing art. You are being asked to stay open to your intuitive approach in your life, your work, and your creativity, as well as in your spiritual journey. The intuitive approach can be likened to the method of the gardener or an artist. There is a sense of what might not work where, wait, there is a sense of what might not work where and a loose or even a detailed plan, but how the plan is carried out will depend on and respond to the flow of its surroundings. There is no need to control the situation, but rather desire to nurture an idea to fruition. I like that. You may have pressures around you. We all do, right? Work, kids, family, situation. Yeah, we all have those pressures from the world and from your own conditioned nature to do things according to the rules, to a deadline, or to an accepted mainstream view that you need a well thought out plan for success in a commercial venture. How many of us know that one, right? However, sometimes the best plan is to do what feels intuitively truthful in the moment and to trust what you are being led towards your own growth. Adopting this approach means you have to do far less planning and far more living. It is a pure and heart-centered way to manifest your art, your life path, and your essence into practical expression in the world. It involves a willingness to be led by nature instead of trying to control powerful forces of life, which is a bit like trying to fit a proverbial ocean in a teacup. It is far more intelligent to allow the ocean to be the ocean and to learn to swim in it rather than trying to cram it into a vessel that is much too small. I often describe myself that way. I don't fit in everything. This oracle brings you a special piece of guidance. You are moving outside of the plan. You are living on the border of what is socially acceptable. This is good. This is a fringe dwelling freedom. Others might not see this about you straight away as you seem pretty normal, but that secret eccentric streak is just waiting to show itself. And maybe, you are an out and proud fringe dweller, completely comfortable with this way of being. Either way, this oracle brings you the message that you now have a chance to live from the heart more deeply and expressly than ever before. It wants you to realize that this is legitimate, empowered, and creative way to live that honors all of who you are. You can give up forcing or squashing yourself down into a very limited set of so-called desirable qualities like intellect and control. If you are yet to relate to this consciously, this oracle brings you further message that you are going to be breaking from tradition, breaking with tradition. Perhaps not entirely, but at least in a way that is meaningful to you. This will require you to have courage in your convictions and faith in your heart truths. This will help you and inspire others around you to step out of fear and live more freely and lovingly. You are not necessarily meant to abandon logic and intellect altogether. You are to use them to serve the desires of the heart rather than to replace its naturally spontaneous and truthful nature with controlled planning and narrow strategy. It's time to get a bit wild and let nature take its course. I like this message. And the healing process, say aloud, I now call on unconditional love and ask for the blessings of the heart to be witnessed and sanctioned by the great universe creator, so that I may rise above small-mindedness and use the best of what human culture has to offer in service of love through my own free will, so be it. Visualize or imagine a feeling of being in the most gorgeous garden. It might as well manicure. It might be well manicured, a little bit wild, or a wildly overgrown jungle. Just notice it. Notice how all the plants work together and how it is supported by nature and the seasons. Notice that while some things thrive, others fall away, only to shift again with the seasons. There is such organizational genius. Say, may the wisdom and guided hands of the great gardener who looks with unconditional love, nurture the garden of my soul into magnificence. I dare to live creatively with my heart and thrive. Finish your healing process by sitting quietly, dancing wildly, or doing a spot of gardening, whatever feels good. And I was born dancing, so for me, it's always dancing. I love this. This is great. So we read that, and now we're going to move on to the Work Your Light Oracle, which is a shorter one, so it won't be so long. I know this one, some of them can be quite long, but we're going to get into this one. Then we'll pull an angel number, and then we'll pull an angel wisdom. So while I prepare this deck, I'm going to pause the video. Okay, I finished shuffling. I split this deck with intention. The intention being that this be for the current collective that is watching right now, that there be a message that they need to receive for the journey that they are currently on. And whatever message, we'll receive it and be using it to guide us through our days. And I am open and ready to receive gratitude. Thank you, Spirit. So let's go ahead and see what we get in this one. This is definitely a shorter one, but it always has a really good message. I enjoy these oracles as well. All right, let's try, see what we're going to get. Okay, there we go. We got one. So the one we got is Keepers of the Earth. I'm going to pause until I find it in the guidebook. All right, so we got Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. I can tell you ever since that blue moon, May 31st, I felt my ancestors very strongly. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oops, oopsie. Okay, there we go. All right. You are so supported. You do not stand alone. You have a magnificent team of helpers, both in this world and of the earth, who are here to help you every step of the way. Call upon them for assistance. They are here to help. The keepers of the earth acknowledge the work that you have done already and are ready to work through you. They bow at your feet and thank you for wanting to stand for them. To devote your life to protecting your earth in your unique way. It is time to increase your capacity to receive support in the physical realm. This can come in all forms of financial abundance, acts of service from strangers, or people flocking to help you and your work. The only thing that is stopping you right now is your capacity to receive support. Remember, I was talking about this in the twin flame reading. It's like you have to be in a state of receiving. That's very important, because if you want things to magnify towards you, you have to be whole with yourself and ready to receive. Let's continue. You deserve to be rewarded for the work that you are doing. You do not need to go it alone. Call upon the keepers of the earth to help you and your mission. Open your heart and your mind to receive more than you ever thought possible. What kind of support do you need? Call it in right now. And the Work Your Light activation is, look at the card and put your hand on your heart and say, I am open to receiving a whole new level of support for my life, my work, and I call it in now. Include any specific requests here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that was lovely. That was absolutely lovely. So now we're going to pull an angel number. I will shuffle that and the angel wisdom, and we will review those next. All right. So the reason why, if you're wondering, the reason why I don't shuffle on the camera, because I know some people are really sensitive to sound. I am too. I don't know why I have this sensory thing. Like when people are like banging and shuffling with their mics on. All right. I split this deck with intention. I went and shuffled both decks. All right. Angel, Spirit, I set the intention down on these angel cards that we get a number that will help us navigate through the message that we received through these oracles. We are grateful. And I am open and ready to receive with gratitude. Let's see what we got. What do we got, angels? Oh, wait, hold on. I think I'm going to pause it because this is probably going to take a bit. This is so wild. So the two cards that came flying out, 444 and 470. I am not kidding you. I just did a twin flame oracle reading and 444 came out there. I have seen 444 like a bunch of times the last, like, I would say week, 2 weeks. Yeah, definitely last 2 weeks. Because the week previous I was off from work and I was seeing it everywhere. And I've been seeing it's just crazy. It's crazy. So, okay, let's get into this. 444, protective magic. Your prayers are heard. You are being heard. Be assured that your angels are guiding you, surrounding you, and answering your prayers for protection. It may be time of struggle, but you are being led into the light of divine forces. Take a moment now to thank your angels for protective presence in your life. Thank you, angels, for the protective presence in my life. I am so immensely grateful. I'm not kidding you. This number, if you see it, let me know if you've been seeing it a lot. I've been seeing it so much the last 2 weeks. No joke. It's been intense. Like, even when I'm trying to avoid, I try to avoid looking at clocks and stuff because sometimes I'm thinking like maybe I'm just looking at this certain time. But 470, surrender, release a problem. Your angel, and look at that, like, release the problem. And here it says it's a time of struggle, right? Because a lot of us are struggling right now, right? So like if you're struggling, it's time to surrender, release that problem. The angels are encouraging you to surrender a present worry you have to them. Whether you're confused, feeling out of control, or simply at a loss for solutions, you can energetically release this issue to the divine. Put yourself in a full body stretch right now. As you inhale, focus on breathing in support from your angels. As you exhale, focus on releasing control. I'm telling you guys, make sure that you pay attention. If you're seeing numbers, it is the way spirit communicates with us. The angels communicate with us. This is how we get messages. And I did shuffle the Angel Wisdom deck, and we're going to split this deck with intention. And that intention being that this wisdom be wisdom from the angels that we need to hear regarding the reading and the angel numbers that we just received during this message. And I am open and ready to receive gratitude. All right, let's see what we got. What do you got for us, wisdom-wise? We love us angel wisdom. I don't even really like shuffling when I'm on my mic because I know it annoys people. Because some people are really highly sensitive, right? And it bothers the ears. But this is a small deck, and my hope, okay, here we go. Flow. Let's see, we got flow. This happens, things happen when they're supposed to. Okay. This is a reminder from your angels to trust in the flow of the universe. Surrender, surrender. And to and to follow your intuition when making decisions. With positive change and opportunities on the horizon, now is a great time for you to take action and move forward in life. I love it. All right, guys, I don't want to make this video too long. We're already 18 minutes in. I wish you all well. Blessings. Be safe. I'm in Pennsylvania. We've got the wildfire stuff coming from Canada. My prayers to all of you in Canada if you're there. I can't even imagine because it is really bad here. We can't even like go outside. It's so bad. Like I'm choking. But I am sending immense prayers to you all, even in the United States. If you're struggling with the smoke, this is intense. My prayers are lifted, and I hope that you all stay safe. Blessings to you all, and take care. Best wishes and good luck.